Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming this afternoon. As I was contemplating this satsang that we're having, I realized something, or actually I remembered a dream I had. And in this dream, it was quite a few years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, but it never left me. It was almost like, it was like the kind of dream that you just follow that and that's all you need for your whole life. It happened after I had a massive enlightenment experience, so it was quite profound. And what happened in this dream is I used to be a model and I used to dance and do things like that. And I was in a fashion show in the dream, and I was asked to walk through this garden, and in the garden were beautiful, beautiful flowers, just everywhere, all over the place. So I'm walking, and I have this lovely dress on, and I was really happy, and loop through this fashion show. And then, but they told me, when you get to the end of this, you're going to meet a black woman, and she's going to tell you to turn left. So I thought, fine, okay, I'll turn left, when I get to the end. So I get there and the woman's sitting there, but she had a really stern look on her face, like really stern. It wasn't relaxing at all. And I thought, oh well, in that business, people are always so stressed, so, I thought it was something like that. So I turned left, and into this area of barbed wire fence, really like intense, and everything under my feet was kind of crunching as I walked. And I'm just walking and walking. And I'm starting to get nervous because I'm still walking in this area. And I get to the end of it, and I started feeling my heart beating, and I could feel I was sweating, and I thought, oh, I'm sweating in their dress, and all these thoughts. So I get to the end, I turn around, and I start walking back, thinking, okay, I just want to get out of here, I just want to get out of here. And I couldn't see anybody around either. I thought something's wrong. And as on the way back, these things that were crunching under my feet as I walked in became demons that were coming up from nowhere and coming at my face. And they were just coming up and showing themselves, and they came in all sorts of different forms. And I was terrified. I was sweating. I was terrified. I didn't know whether to run or not because they were in front of me. And this voice came to me really deeply inside and said, if you make those demons real for just a second, they will harm you. So I took that in very deeply into my soul or heart. And so I continued walking, and nothing had changed. They were still coming up at me, and I just said, you're not real, you're not real. And as they would come right at me, I would just say, you're not real. And some were big, some were small, it didn't matter. But I kept saying, you're not real, you're not real. Because this is all I had was the voice. I had nothing else but that inner voice that was guiding me. Then I got to the end, and I started to come outside into this area, but there was no one around. There was no fashion show, there was nothing. There was just all this green grass. And I just fell into the grass, exhausted. And then I realized this whole thing was like an illusion. All these demons were an illusion. And it was probably one of the most profound moments of my life, really, in that dream. Because from that point on, I recognized that our whole world is like that. Everything in our world is like that. It could come in the form of unworthiness. It could come in the form of Oh, just pretty much anything. Just think of it. How many things take you off course every day? Just think of it. If you think of things that take you off course right now, and just speak them so that I can add, because I'm kind of in the dream still and I need a little help. What would take you off course?
Well, when you said they're not real, those demons, I was thinking about my thoughts that are stressful. And when I go into meditation, I realize, wait a minute, those thoughts aren't even real, right? Like, you know, you're thinking something about somebody, or you're angry about something, and I'm just watching all this activity, and I've always known that, but I'm sort of understanding that it's, what you're saying is those thoughts aren't real, and thoughts are like demons, right? Whether you're feeling angry or frustrated or impatient, those are all illusory, really.
Absolutely. It's all illusory.
Yeah.
It's all of it is illusory, but we grab onto so many things. It's like pure, you know, we live in this pure place of truth. We're really there. That's where we are all the time. And then we grab something, a dark cloud that goes by, and then we say, that's us, that's me, that dark cloud.
Well, and this human addiction to drama too. It's it becomes so painfully obvious how much of the drama that we're surrounded by is completely contrived. Has nothing to do with any basis in reality. It's just
all made up in the moment.
It takes away the boredom or something. It's, you know, and it's a terrible distraction at the same time, and it triggers these other really darker, more base emotions of getting angry and hating each other.
And the boredom is an interesting thing. That's another demon, because what is the boredom really? The boredom is in order to distract you from coming into your true self, or going to your true self. Well, the other problem is we don't know what our true self is. We don't directly know. In fact, very few people do, because our whole society, has us running in the wrong direction. It's like looking for love in all the wrong places.
So my thought when you said that we don't know what our true self is, would you say that if you looked inside to find your true self, that there would be no self? There would be no answer?
There's something that lives there that is always there, and always sees everything, always knows everything. So when you go inside, it's not like, it's just empty or not empty. It's something even beyond that. It's beyond just being empty or not empty. It's something that knows and sees and is with you at all times, everywhere.
Yeah, because there has to be a purpose for our journey through this material world. There has to be a reason, or it just wouldn't happen, right? So even with all our frailties and our flaws and inconsistencies, that journey is such a perplexing thing to try and come to terms with, because there is no clear answer for it.
Well, the only answer is direct experience. There is no answer for anything else, because everything else is an illusion or a demon, so to speak. And why I say it's a demon is because it takes us away. Anything that takes us away, it's just like sin in a way. The only sin we really have in this world is our separation from that place. And if we don't know ourselves in that way, then the whole world, eats us up.
Can you explain what a direct experience is?
Well, it's something that happens, it can happen in many ways. It can be subtle, it can be strong, but it doesn't matter how it looks. It could be dramatic, or it could be just something very quiet. But it's not that you're going for. What you're going for is that which is behind everything. It's that which is behind everything. It's that part that knows and sees and always knows, in fact. It's wordless, basically. Mm-hmm. It's wordless. There's nothing you can say about it, but when you have it, you know it, and no one can take it from you. I mean, I've heard someone say, even if God came down to the earth and tried to tell you you didn't know, you would say that's not true. Mm-hmm. Because it's that strong, that knowing, and it stays with you forever.
But you don't go for it, or you wait for it to happen to you. People might think, oh, I wonder if I'm going to have a direct experience, or if I've had one, or you might go searching for one.
Well, you can. Well, if you feel to go searching, you do, and if you don't, you don't. I mean, there's like, for example, if you can go searching and have one, or you can go searching and not have one, mm-hmm. or you can not go searching, and the opposite.
Yeah. And
not have one, and or
have one.
Have one. So it really doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's timing.
Yeah.
And so when someone is ready to experience who they are, but it's like emptying everything. You know, when you have a direct experience, you've emptied the cup of everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and there's nothing greater in this world. There's nothing in this world that could surpass it. Nothing. And it involves feeling a lot of love. It involves, or not. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Those are still kind of, great. I mean, when you're in that place of absolute truth, you feel absolute love. But it doesn't matter. It's even beyond that kind of thing. It's that just is in there and it sits. Mm-hmm. And it's not just the watcher. That's a misused term. It's just something that just sits there. And knows what it knows.
And it would be hard to describe it because it transcends value judgment and it transcends emotion. Yeah. And so, how would you put it into words if you can't describe it in more material terms?
Yeah. But the thing is that even that it's in consciousness means that it's something you're being drawn towards. Yeah. And it's,
it could be something as small as those kind of moments where, sometimes I will call you and say I've had an epiphany.
Yeah.
And it's more like I just had this clarity about everything. And would you call that a direct experience?
Well, there's epiphanies and a direct experience. We'd have to discuss it more.
Yeah.
Because,
depends on what you're seeing.
And, exactly. Because sometimes you have almost like awakenings of sorts.
Right.
But there's a certain kind of awakening. I mean, there's different stages and levels, but when you have had it, you know, and nobody can take it away from you. Because you so know who you are.
But we talked about something once too that was interesting, where unless you're aware of the possibility or aware of the context for it, and I think you said it once, that people can actually have direct experiences and not even know they had one.
That's the other part of it. Yeah, good point. Because sometimes people have direct experiences, but then they don't know that they did. And we've talked about that too. Because something has changed in them, and they know it.
Yeah.
They
don't know how to maybe verbalize it.
Yeah, but it's not mental. See, the thing is, we want to make everything mental.
Yeah.
It's like, and in this realm, it's not. The stupider you are, the better.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good for me too. But because it's not a mental thing, you can't make it up. You can't. It's like if you try to make it up, it's like living in a box. You know, it's not. It's not true. It's not real. And we do that. Most of our world is about mental stuff. But really, unwinding from that is really, really the key.
Yeah, we want to intellectualize it,
Yeah.
understand it, use words.
Yeah. And some of the words people use are brilliant. They're incredible speakers and writers, and people go, yeah, they know, but often they don't. Often they know a lot of good words, or they have a lot of great things to say, but they don't know. So it's quite a thing.
And how did, remind us again how demons fit into what we were just talking about.
Well, the demons were something that, from my experience, the dream came to me after I'd had a direct experience, a very profound one, in fact, with a massive healing and all of it, I'm that way. I needed the drama, I guess, so I had to get the whole thing thrown. Other people have it quieter way. But after that, then this dream came to me, and why it's so important is because that's what keeps us away from ourselves. Are these places that say, no, go here, no, you're not good enough, or you're not enough of that, or you're stupid, or you're a failure, or and these are things we get told, these are things that we tell ourselves, these are the things that keep us away, these are the illusions that we believe. So it was like the dream was saying to me, here, this is your thing for your life, just follow this and you'll be good.
Right.
So that's what I do, and that's how I do my work. When people come, I help them dispel their illusion.
Right.
And when they do, often then something opens up in them, whether it be an epiphany or in some cases direct experience. So the demons that we have are the things that keep us away from ourselves. So think of a demon that you deal with the most. What would you say it is?
I think mine for sure has always been anger. You know,
Anger.
I'm quick to anger, and
Yeah.
or used to be, less now. As we go through this work, you know, it becomes, because as the consciousness around anger grows, then
Right.
it's possible, not always easy, and not always, it doesn't always happen, but it's possible to catch it before it turns into a drama.
Right.
You
So
know,
you do that, though.
Yeah, it's possible
Yeah.
now to recognize it for what's happening,
Yeah.
and then catch it before it does become a drama. Because once it's in a full-blown drama, then
You're in
it's
big
it's
trouble.
ridiculous.
But that's really great, because that's the fire we have to live in. You know, the fire of that, holding ourselves and not acting out, and not pushing into it,
And not
like you said,
suppressing it at the same time.
and not suppressing it at the same
Right.
time. Exactly. So it's a real balancing act, what we have to deal with on a regular basis, really. Just to be in a human form, which is like really strange when you think about it.
Well, we've had our humanity usurped in so many ways, because the
Yeah.
conditioning of society is everything that you're saying
Yeah.
we shouldn't be, is what society wants us to be, is controlled, repressed,
Repressed, yeah.
manageable, fearful.
Yeah.
Ruled by the mind.
Yeah, ruled by the mind,
I know.
because that creates a controllable population. So what this effort
Yeah.
is then is, it sounds like,
Yeah.
and tell me if this is true, that, you know, there's this huge process of stripping away all that socialization
Totally.
before we can
Yeah.
even begin this journey.
Totally. You got it. Because even the spiritual socialization, because that too throws people off. You know, people can be in a group for years and years, but because they're just staying, maybe they're picking it up in a way that they're just staying with the concepts of it, rather than the more direct experience of it, you know, same thing, keeps them away from experiencing rather than toward. Although it's important. Everything that everybody does is important.
Mhm.